On January 10th, Alex Hormozi shared that he made his biggest investment of his life into Skool in his posts on Instagram, Threads, X, YouTube community, and LinkedIn. And because I am a marketing nerd, I wanted to know everything behind this investment. So I took hours to read the 70 comments on Threads, 300 comments on LinkedIn, 400 comments on YouTube, 500 comments on X, and over 2,000 comments on Instagram. I also read every post like this one from Greg Eisenberg and watched every video that I could find about Alex's investment. Like this one, which was interesting because the guy was critical about Alex Hormozi, which isn't really common, and he was not so positive about Skool's future, which we go over later in this video. If you don't know what Skool with the K is, it's basically Facebook groups and a course platform in one. Free for most users unless they want to join a paid community, and $99 per month at this moment to the community owner. And even though Alex hasn't really promoted Skool on his organic socials yet, he already started running 5 different Facebook ads since January 16th. We will look at them later in this video, but first, here are the 10 reasons why Alex Hormozi made his biggest investment into Skool. Number 1, so that he can write his 4th book, $100 million community, so that he can use his own methods from his books, so that he can bake bread in SAM ovens. I must admit, I wasn't funny enough to come up with this myself. It's actually from this guy, so credits to him. So that he can finally change his outfit, so that he can defeat Russell Brunson, founder from ClickFunnels, who surprisingly started posting on YouTube again on January 10th, the day of Alex's official announcement, so that he can sell unique, expensive, sticky air, which Skool is. So he can grow Skool and his audience finally with profitable paid ads, so that he can use his product audience fit to create a unicorn company and take over Shopify's throne, and so that he can eventually take Skool public and build $100 million physical schools. For those of you who are just listening, I said this with a smile, so please take it with humor, but in each joke lies a sense of truth. I'm mostly interested in Alex's goodwill, which in basic terms is the positive feeling of your audience and the ratio between how much you give versus how much you ask. If you ask more, you get less. And I think Alex's goodwill till this point is one of the highest in the entrepreneur space. But now that he started advertising and selling a higher ticket product, I'm very curious how his audience will respond. By the way, of all the comments I read, around 1% was negative. So do with that info what you want. Let's take a look at his ads together, shall we?
This is a penny, and I won't even charge you a penny to help you build a business absolutely free in the next 30 days on Skool. You might be wondering, why am I wearing a Skool shirt? Well, I just became the largest investor in Skool, and the reason I did that was because out of the many different businesses that I've looked at, this one was one of the most exciting for how easy it made it for people to start businesses on the internet by taking the ideas that they have and building communities around them so they could both provide value and monetize the value that they create, all in one platform without having to integrate with anything else. And as an added little incentive to get you off your butt in this new year, I'm going to be flying out the people who build the biggest businesses in the first 30 days to my headquarters, the top 10 people, absolutely free, so we can spend a day helping you build your business and scale even more from there. If that sounds at all interesting, click the link, follow the steps, and I'll see you in the Skool games.
I predict we will see some very creative ads. I mean, take a look at this one.
Gym owners. Everybody wants to talk about their top clients. And if I were going to try and talk about our top clients, I would talk about how our top 20% of gyms make $1.1 million a year. This is the offer I'm going to make for you today. This is what most gyms start with us. This is what happens after on average. And so I can give you this crazy guarantee that I will guarantee you an additional $60,000 in revenue or your money back. Because if I don't add this, I don't want your money. So if that sounds fair to you, and this isn't the most ridiculous ad you've ever seen, click the link to schedule a call. We'll see you on the other side.
I'm curious when we will start to see guarantees from his book. And I think we will start to see Alex doing the following.
State the facts and tell the truth. Like, the best marketing in the entire world is truth.
I agree. Stating the facts and telling the truth, like he does here. Now this is very interesting because Skool has a 14-day free trial. But since the Skool games are every 30 days, Alex will add a lot of revenue. And based on Greg Eisenberg, he added $30 million in enterprise value. Now let's take a look at my math, shall we? By the way, I'm Jordan, 23 years old, did over $3.5 million in revenue and hired over 40 people. And I'm making videos on YouTube since 2012. I don't have any paid product. I don't use affiliate links because I believe in goodwill. If you want to know more context behind that, you can watch this video next. And I'm here to build a $2 billion ecosystem. But so far, I've made a lot of mistakes that you can avoid. So if you want to learn together with me, you can find my free newsletter somewhere below. Now back to my calculation, I found 1,716 free communities and around 3,100 paid ones. Just around 4,800 communities and $5.7 million annual recurring revenue for Sam Ovens. But this is not accurate because Skool's own community, limited to only community owners, has more than 32,000 members. So if we assume that all community owners on Skool are part of this group and they all only own one community, then they have around $38 million annual recurring revenue, which I think is much closer to their actual revenue. And if Alex agreed on a 5 to 10x multiple on top line revenue, then Skool could have been valued around $150 to $300 million in value. And that's a very rough estimate, I know. I think Alex got anywhere between 20 to 35% of the shares, which could mean he invested around $30 to $50 million into Skool. But then I found this video from Matt, and I highly recommend watching it in full after this video because he's a very clever guy.
I would not be surprised if Alex spent $0. If the largest investment he ever made actually involved no money. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was that interpretation there is it was nothing about money and it was all about time. It was all about promotional schedule, something like that. It may have been dollars. It absolutely may have been capital, but I guess I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if this was the largest investment ever he made was a commitment to 5 hours a week of working on Skool, right? Because he's
that's how he structures a lot of those deals. Yeah.
And I've seen most of the investments he's made are zero exchange of capital on his behalf. It is actually an exchange of capital. Like you pay him for him to invest into you. So
yeah, to get access to his team, his resources, the consult.
That's exactly right.
Now they end off a bit skeptical. But keep in mind that Alex does not just bring in money. He brings in an audience of over 2 million people as his main USP. He has an insane product audience fit. So if only 1% of his audience starts a Skool community and 20% of them keep paying and using it, then Alex added around $5 million in annual recurring revenue, which could be close to Greg Eisenberg's educated guess of $30 million in enterprise value, which continues to grow as Alex and Sam Ovens will be hosting the Skool games every month. Now, what surprised some people is that Alex never promoted the companies he invested in before. Let's take a look at what he said here before.
I don't want to be included in whatever the exit is. And so if I bought it without me, I want to sell it without me, because I don't want to now have a 5-year non-compete on the back of another deal in 3 years because I promoted it. And so if I'm going to use money and expertise with our team to grow a business, then that is what the deal is about.
I think it's pretty clear why Alex decided to promote Skool, because he can finally shower and switch his costume. Of course, he invested and promoted it because it's such a big opportunity for himself and his audience.
If I'm trying to approach something as a brand deal, which I have done almost never, you can probably tell I haven't really promoted anything. It would have to be for a really good opportunity that would make a lot of sense for everyone in my audience.
And in his ads, he also mentioned why. Feel free to pause here and read through it. Now, to be fair, it might not be only sunshine and rainbows. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this guy made some very valid points. I'll link the video below, but in short, it comes down to this. I'm a huge fan of learning from Hormozi, but I'm not sure if I want to be a customer of a Hormozi business. Which I can understand, because Alex's incentive is to add enterprise value to Skool, and I think he will be implementing a lot of his own methods, such as new pricing tiers. But to me, this is actually very exciting, because you can listen to what people say, but I much rather look at what they do. And this will be a huge journey where we can see Alex in action and possibly scale Skool to $1 billion in 3 to 5 years, and might bring it public and write a book about $1 billion IPOs. Or he just holds on to his investment and will just keep baking bread with Sam Ovens. Subscribe for more. And by the way, I'm thinking of creating a free Skool community myself, not to earn money, but as an additional place for me to provide value. Think behind the scenes, like how I make these presentations, but also very selfishly to meet ambitious entrepreneurs in the Netherlands, Cape Town, Bali, and other places. But not for everyone. It's not for beginner questions, and only for people who already create content for their personal brand. A small group of people who are interested in the advanced social media stuff, like how you can set up your phone and TikTok account to show posts in the US, or the best best way to pay your video editors. So if that sounds interesting, you can find the link below. And we might meet somewhere in the world soon, because hiking or rafting with like-minded people is what gets me excited. Talk soon.